log. And what I did was I filtered out all the approved and rejected things. So this is a list of everything that we're carrying as pending. Some of these, as we've talked about before, never become reality. We just reject them and we'll drop them off the list. But in any event, for right now, we are holding these items as still pending. So if you add them all up, we have about $360,000 in pending items.
There is one change on the.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's what we've expended. Pending is also $357,000.
There's one, line item 147 came in final at $900.
Okay, so drop that 1,100 bucks.
$1,100.
But, so the ones that I've highlighted yellow and the column that says change order request,
Yep,
so
81 and 82.
81 and 82, and then if you go on the back, there's more on the back. So those are the ones that we're looking to get approval on. But we can kind of go through some of the,
Like they had that one line 147 to it as well, that's for the hardware.
what are you talking about?
CO 97, the line 147,
Okay,
I'd like to add that to the list for tonight,
okay, it's PCO what?
97,
And what's the value?
900.
Oh, 900 bucks.
Is 900?
900, yeah. So just starting on page 1, you know, there's, I'm not really gonna go through most of these because they're pretty old. So you get down to, well, 109, item 109, which is the shed. So I don't really know, so of the 360,000 that we're saying is pending, we got 100,000 right there. So that's just a placeholder. Obviously, it depends upon what you decide to do. If you take a approach that we were just talking about with a cargo containers that you screen or somehow put a porch or a roof on or modify in one way or another, obviously it's gonna be a lot less than $100,000. We did bring power out there, so we'll have power to that area so we can feed it into whatever we decide to do. But then the next one, 112, item 112 or PCO 82, that's the brake metal fascia at the canopy lights, $5,109. Can you give us some of the detail on that?
Yeah, well, we had to make some modifications at the entry canopy, which is a metal panel system, in order to get, the light fixtures that were going in there were conflicting with the steel, so we had to lower it, which meant we had to add an extra metal trim piece, just to cover the gap, so that's what that reflects. And that's at the main entrance, so that's why we wanted to make sure that that looked right.
There's a couple minor ones, just, you know, they were generated by RFIs. You can see, we kind of note what kind of generated the, putting it on the list if it was a official correspondence that might turn into something. But the next one that we want to talk about is number 123 or PCO 81. And that's ADA operator hardware changes. And I think that's really just, was that just a submittal issue? Just
No, it would, you know, there was an RFI, they had asked where we wanted the push, so it's the
remote
doors are
push
ADA,
button.
remote push buttons. And then I think 2 of them were in different location, where the actual door, because you have to pick a swing, one of the doors operates, both of them don't open. So we had picked the logical locations. It wasn't what was on the drawings, it was sort of a different door than what we had shown in the drawings, but I think it made more sense to have it, that door swing open, and then the hardware had already been ordered, so they just had to make minor changes.
the next one, the last one on the bottom of the page, has to do with glazing at the stair tower. Is that the main stair?
That
Yep.
is the main stair,
Stair one,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard anything about that in the discussion of the job meetings, what might become of that, but it's, again, a placeholder. What we ended up doing was modifying the frames to provide more support to the glass, just so the glass didn't flex so much. It probably would have been okay, probably, but,
Oh, let's
you know.
take that chance.
Yeah, you didn't want to take that chance, so we added some stiffening, modified the frame, essentially.
Right.
The next one, 128 or PCO 79, this is just building out a pocket for the motorized shades. And that's $1,159. 133 or PCO 87. This is adding wall under bottom of stair 3.
Right, so, so one of the egress stairs, does not, underneath the stair was shown to be open,
Yes,
and it
that's what
kind
it
of
was.
was a weird spot where kids might be able to just hide, and so it just seemed to make sense to close that off, so it was just simply adding a wall, and I think that's just a safer solution.
Yeah, so that's
Makes
a
more sense.
masonry wall, I think, under the.
That
It was just a,
Drywall.
just drywall.
All right, under the stairs, I remember that now.
Is
Yeah.
it a big area that's?
Think of the triangle that you would see if you were looking at the side of a stair coming from the landing
Right.
down, 15 feet by
I'm just thinking
8.
maybe it could be a storage area for.
Then you have to.
You definitely
Well-
can't use it as a
Sprinklers,
storage.
Oh, okay.
Most of it is a storage area, it's just the one triangular section that's
Oh.
kinda,
It's the exterior
Unusual.
storage.
right,
Would have cost more because we thought about leaving it open, but we were gonna have to move sprinkler head, we'd have to move a heater that was in place,
Yeah, all right.
and it was gonna cost more.
Yep.
Wouldn't be
Yeah.
worth it.
So the next one, which again is in keeping with the others, pretty minor cost at $1443, is revisions to the ceiling at the main entry and first floor corridor. Again, it's just some coordination of where you have drop ceiling versus hard ceiling and soffits, and, a little bit of framing and sheet rock and that sort of stuff. So it's $1443. Then we had some ceramic tile work, which is more labor intensive, at stairs
this is
2 and
gonna go
3.
away.
Oh, it is?
This is not, yeah. It's actually less tile. I did the calculation, so I told Joel this is gonna go away.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
What
I
I
haven't
was,
heard anything back from him, so
No,
I'm
I haven't
assuming
either.
that he was gonna
um,
take care of it.
Matt and I talked about that, actually, and how that you thought it might go away. But I was thinking, in case it turned out to be a $600 ad or something, I would get
Yeah.
approval not to exceed that amount, and that way, if it turned into anything, that we would at least have approval to go forward with it. But if you're pretty confident it's gonna totally.
I measured it all out. It's actually a little bit less tile, which,
Well, you
I
know what,
did
I'm
too on my
not surprised. The tile guy is,
yeah.
he's been expensive,
Right.
so, okay, so we'll cancel that one.
Mhm.
Just one that we have a placeholder, oh, so this is the double, this is double
Yeah.
counted, 137 is the same thing as as 125 on the previous page, it's just that one is at 15,000 and one is at 10,000.
I'll take the 10,000.
It wasn't for the addition of the smoke baffle, was it? Wasn't that added by the fire department?
That was already
Long time
in,
ago?
a long
Okay.
time ago. It was one of the first change orders.
Yeah, a
We
couple.
did get a price on that, right? So,
Yeah, got a price on what?
thought we,
No, it was in an
Um,
email. They said it would be however many dollars per mullion that we
is
added.
that what it was?
But I don't think it was more than 10,000.
So we take one out, take
I would just,
the
yeah.
$10,000 out?
Yeah, one or the other, whatever you think is.
125,
Makes sense. Then getting down to 141, milling and paving a south road in front of the general store. I don't know if the store owner would like to cover the cost, but it's $24,411. If not, we could do it as part of the project, I guess.
thanks.
And then the last one, 142, This is just a kind of a coordination item. It wasn't owned to install the final cores with the final locks and all the doors, but for $2,500 or $3,000 with all the different cores and keys and having one person responsible or one entity, it just makes,
Who knows what he's doing?
yeah.
Otherwise, you have to hire a locksmith.
Yeah, and then he's pointing fingers at Fontaine's pointing fingers at his locksmith, so it just
And
makes
even Rich
sense.
said the locksmith, he's an older guy, he's almost retired, and he's got a business. How you gonna get him out there for 2 or 3 days in a row, just doing nothing but putting cores in until he's finished? He'll be back and forth, and it'd drag on, and things get lost and messed up.
Yeah.
And you'd have to pay him anyway. You know,
Right.
so it's not, what could you be saving, if anything?
So then as we go down the list of just other items, number 143, so the fuel oil tank was put in the ground empty, and we filled it with water to keep it from floating because of the groundwater level, and just to keep it, it's ballasted, it's held down with strapping to concrete, dead men, but we have to pump out the water, and the contractor's gonna need to fill the oil lines, get the boilers up and running, make sure things are working, things aren't leaking. But he's not gonna need 10,000 gallons. What we could do is we could have the oil purchased as through the project, and then that way, it's ballasting the tank. It's basically taking out of the school's operating that they'll have to expend down the road. It's just a matter of, you don't necessarily need to maybe put in 10,000 gallons, but you want to put in a significant amount just to keep it. And then you could stick it and figure out that, yeah, how much was used by the contractor versus how much was put in, and do a change for that. So this one wouldn't be a change to Fontaine and then adding their markup. You could just buy it directly. We could pay for it out of the project, but use whoever the school would typically buy their oil from.
Should that not say Fontaine then under vendor? Should that be something different?
It should be something different.
Yeah, okay. But this 25 represents a full tank.
Yeah,
Chris had a number of like 23 and change, so I just rounded up.
yeah, so that's something that, I don't know, you guys can think about and talk with Chris, maybe, and, figure out what you think is appropriate. We put in a cost to upgrade areas that's gonna be grass seeded to sod, but really, there isn't that much, right?
There's not.
So that maybe is,
And that 10,000 is probably high.
yeah, I was gonna say it's probably overstated. Broadband connection to the school, that actually is rejected, it'll come off this list. We paid for that out of our budget for miscellaneous administrative costs or something along those lines. It's a utility fee, actually. I think we paid it out of our utility line item, because it's really just to connect the fiber to the building. It's not like you're buying service for a period of time, it's the connection. So that's really is a true construction cost that we were able to take it out of another line item. Yeah, there's some miscellaneous wood sills for $3,500. The 97 that Matt talked about, that's $900 for revised hardware in the gym toilet shower area.
Currently, that's just a passage set. So
Okay.
anybody who's in the gym, parents, whoever, they need a bathroom, they're gonna start using that, and it's really for the coaching staff or the school staff to use. And then Emily even chimed in and said, plus she doesn't want kids running in there and disappearing into there, so.
Yep.
for
So
Friday.
the other ones, number 148 is again, changes to the lock sets for different areas in the building. Number 149 is protection to the the gym floor.
I was going through it all.
Looks like they plywooded the whole
I
thing.
realized that the.
Then 150, bringing permanent power to the maintenance shed area. While they were working that area, get some conduit in there. And then modifications to the serving line in the kitchen. Their thought there was to modify the serving line so that you can have 2 lines going through versus 1, so there might be some cost. We kind of put a wag at that at 15,000, don't really know where that's gonna come in. But if you look at what we are looking to get approved for today,
Even if those doors aren't open.
it's 5,000, 2,000, 1,100, 1,900, 1,400, 2,400, 900, and then the oil is, the milling and paving, 24,000. So really, it's, that's the one that's of significance, and that was an owner request. So there really has been typical throughout. The changes have been pretty minor.
Yep.
I mean, to say that we're doing well is an understatement. We're doing, again, very well. So again, to talk about, we had, with our bid savings, so it skews it a little bit, but we had almost $3.6 million. We've spent
The
$360,000.
milling and paving of South Road in front of the general store, that was an owner request?
And I asked to get a cost on that, since they're doing it in
No.
front of the school. Unless the town's gonna fix that part of the road.
That's not in our, chapter 90 hit list at all.
Okay,
So, I mean,
that's why I thought we could fix that area while we could.
Well, you have a guy mobilized and he's there.
I mean, he's gonna be doing the rest of the road up to the police station. It was just
so we
a
might,
thought.
so you're saying we should just go right down to the end?
Just right to the end. I mean, the road's pretty banged up
Okay.
from all the trucks. and
Well,
stuff.
yeah, from all the trucks.
That's what my thought was.
Okay.
So. What's that?
Kirk was also in favor of it. He stopped by one day
Oh, yeah.
to talk to me about it.
Who's in favor of it?
Kirk,
Kirk, that's true.
Carter, okay.
no, not Carter, Kirk.
I'm sure
Okay.
Carter would be in favor of it too, though.
Problem, I'm sure
Okay.
he would.
All right, so
Um,
just so long as somebody else from the town is aware that this is on the list and it's been spoken of. Because that definitely was not on our hit list.
Yeah, but big picture again, we're doing really well.
Okay.
We've ordered furniture for our discussions of a couple of months ago. For or the technology, they're getting quotes in on the different pieces. So hopefully we'll have some pricing on that pretty soon. The MSBA has been out and been visiting. They're happy. Holly's been submitting requests for reimbursement, so I believe that the town has been being reimbursed all along the way. Carter was just here earlier. Told him I'll get him an updated cash flow. He's been asking for an updated cash flow each month, but I wanna say we have about, after this application for payment tonight, which is just under $2 million, we'll have about $7 million left to pay on Fontaine's contract, plus change orders that we pushed through. So all is good.
So I would like to make a motion to approve the change orders as presented.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
I'll give you an extra copy if you wanna give it to Chris if he comes tonight.
Okay.
Do they have to sign that, or is that the building?
No, the other group will.
Oh,
Is that number 9?
yeah.
Yeah. Chris will sign.
And number 8, hopefully, and I just double check that we captured everything that's been approved.
In number 9.
In number 8 and number 9. Cause some of these were just approved tonight, some of these were previously approved.
Right.
Just
But
wanna
number
make
8
sure we
is
didn't.
what it is, right? I mean, it's signed, it's been signed for almost a month.
what I'm getting
Oh,
at
in
is,
there,
if there is
there,
something
oh,
that's
I
been
could.
approved that is not in here, we just want to highlight and make sure that we eventually get it
I
on the
got it.
change.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any questions?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't know if we want to add we're talking about adding a mural of a clock in the main office.
Sorry. I really thought that that was gonna be out on public display.
How are you?
Well, I guess they're arguing that it is, right?
I thought so too. I thought it was gonna be.
It was
in the
my
hall.
impression that it was gonna be in the hallway,
Yeah,
and that changed my mind.
and when I saw it, I thought, my husband said, what meeting did you go to?
I really thought it was gonna be in the
I
hallway.
thought we had talked that way.
I thought it was gonna be in the hall. You too.
So we, as a board, changed our minds.
That's fine.
Oh, no, yeah, I mean, I think we had reviewed a couple locations, but it was decided on in the admin area where it could be watched over a little bit closer.
Yeah, no, it should be on public display,
Well, then,
so you'll have to buy a grandfather clock.
oh, and, oh,
Change
no,
your-
me.
Not you.
Change order, make a new niche.
Yeah, I know.
Close up
Find
the old
something to
one.
put in there.
Well, if
I'll
we
do the
said a mural of the grandfather clock.
You're gonna find some old stuff in Baldwinsville and put on display.
Yeah, I don't know what's over there that
Miles
could
a
be put in there.
Maybe,
Is
I
there a
don't know,
clock
they
over
can
there?
do like artwork of the month or student sculpture artwork or something in there.
See, if this was back in the day when I was in elementary school, I'd make a kid stand there when he was in trouble.
Oh, yeah, they don't do that anymore.
They made us sit,
Facing the
nuns
wall.
made us wear a dunce hat and sit in the garbage can in the corner of the room.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah. That was either before or after they smacked you a few times.
That was even before that picture that's over there.
Can you make a motion to adjourn?
That big?
Oh, I make a motion to adjourn.
All right. In favor, say aye.
Aye,
Thank you.
sorry, I forgot to do that.